So why use cockroaches, right? So number one, they're already in your house. They're easily accessible. They also have really good nutrition facts. For example, 65% of their bodies is protein, 28% is fat, and 5% or 3% is fiber, with only less than 1% is carbs. So it's really an ideal ratio, and it's been compared to the nutritional value of shrimp. So if you like shrimp, you can use this. There's also sort of like a bug craze happening right now. There's a man who wrote a Eat a Bug cookbook. He's a celebrity chef named David George Gordon. So if this recipe inspires you, you can buy his book again on Amazon. I promise I'm not an Amazon salesperson, but it does really seem like it. So you can buy his book and it can be shipped to your house. There's also this new product on the market, which I actually tasted for the first time 2 days ago when we first got to Roanoke at the co-op that's just like, 0.2 miles away from here. Cricket granola bar, or Cricket health bars. So this idea has already been put into place. The only problem with crickets is that they're expensive, they're hard to come by, and some people do have crickets in their backyards, but they jump. It's really hard to capture them. So that's why the cockroach is ideal. There's tons of medicinal benefits to cockroaches as well. For one, little children who grow up with cockroaches in their home, they often have less allergies than people who grow up with no cockroaches. And this was a study done by Johns Hopkins, so it's not one of those make it up stories, like that's real. And also because of their sort of post-apocalyptic evolutionary techniques in their brains, they have all of these natural antibiotics that doctors have begun harnessing to cure cancer. And I'm not even making this up, this is true. In China, there are tons of cockroach farms now where they're farming these, grinding them up, and selling the powder to Chinese medicine, but also slowly but surely into Western medicine. And so I think coming into the future, we're going to see a lot more cockroach products on the market. Even the United Nations encourages the eating of bugs to promote health, wealth, and a cleaner environment in both rural and urban environments around the globe. Of course, there are many places where cockroaches already are eaten, such as on the streets of Thailand. They sell them by the bag. Now, some people have critiqued this as just a sort of exotic thing for tourists to see, but there are some people who do actually eat them in that way. And the preferred method for eating a whole cockroach is to fry it twice. The first time, you get a little crust on the outside, but the second time, it makes the inside nice and creamy. We're not going to be frying today, though. We're going to be just using the raw bugs. I also just would like to note that cockroaches are very important in the production of nitrogen. So they eat different things that have nitrogen in it, but that can't be released. So through the process of them eating and pooping, it allows the nitrogen to go back into the soil, and that's really important for all of the problems that we're having these days with climate change. So if you believe in climate change and you're not a climate change denier, stop killing cockroaches. They're really important, really important. You should be for cockroaches. So the last thing before we get to cooking is, if you're worried about, job security for pest control agents, if this were to really catch on, you don't have to worry about that. Because pest control agents are already very comfortable with bugs, we could empower these people to start cockroach farming in the United States. And also to create markets for, feminists who want to just use them in their home and make a little bit of extra money. They can capture them and then sell them to the pest control agents. And they can act like a sort of non-black market, black market for cockroaches. So anyway, we are going to start here with, all right, we have 1 3/4 cups of quick cooking oats. You can buy these at any supermarket. And I will just measure them out in this container here. Boom. Then we need exactly 1 1/3 cup of sliced almonds, which I think I have measured out exactly here. Boom. Then we take these cockroaches. So I've pre-smashed these cockroaches. At home I used a mortar and a pestle and it was too heavy for me to bring. So If you have one at home, you can like crush them up yourself. But if you don't, I suggest just getting a cutting board and slicing them into small pieces here. I left a couple of them whole just because sometimes I like that little extra crunch in my granola bar. But you can do whatever you choose. So we're going to do 2/3 of a cup of these. We'll add a little bit of salt just because I'm using non-salty peanut butter here. And this is just a little bit of cockroach powder that I bought when I was in China. So we'll just add a little bit of that for flavor, a little extra zing. And we'll whisk this all together. The next thing you do is you take your wet ingredients. So we're going to use a cup of peanut butter. If I can get this open here. I like this King Richard brand for this because it's pretty liquidy, you know. It helps it stay together. And then we're going to add half a cup of honey. And another way to add, nutritional value, especially if you have allergies. I keep talking about allergies because I have lots of them. If you use local honey, it helps with pollen allergies. So it's another way to get a little extra zip. And then you're just going to add a little bit of vanilla just to give the mixture a little bit. And you whisk that together. All right, and then you pour it in. Have any of you guys made your own granola bars before? Yes, and what do you put in yours?
Oh, I haven't made them in ages, but usually just oats and honey, and I kind of maybe put some nuts in it if I want to, and salt, but I usually leave it at that.
Yeah, the great thing about them is that they actually...
I need to eat ants, but I never need to eat roaches.
Oh yeah, you can eat roaches. And you will eat roaches.
Well, honestly, Madagascar hissing cockroaches are too cute.
They are like the cutest cockroaches I've ever seen. Didn't you used to have one as a pet?
Yeah, I actually got one as a wedding gift.
They're adorable. They're like mahogany too. They're so pretty.
Yeah, so I mean, you could just capture cockroaches and use them as pets as well. There's no rule.
You feed a monkey chow.
Pet stilts.
So this process is a little bit laborious, but it's good because while you're making your cockroaches, you're also getting an arm workout. So I suggest that you switch arms halfway through because no one likes to have a big right arm and a small left arm. It just doesn't look too good. Of course, everyone's body's fine the way it is, but you don't want to be like Popeye on one side. So another great reason that to make your own granola bars is that it really does save a lot of money. Those things are so high priced, especially like if you're buying the specialty ones, that come individually wrapped. They can be like $5 or $6 a bar depending on where you buy them and which ones you buy them. But here, I mean, all these ingredients, many of them I already had. This jar of peanut butter is $2.99. The oats were like $1.99. I mean, local honey can get expensive, but you can always buy the one that's the bare. So lots of different options here. All right, so once you get these all mixed together, and you don't want it to be too liquidy or they won't set, so you can add some extra, oats to them or extra cockroach powder just to make it so it sets better. And then you take your parchment baking powder and a glass container. You're supposed to have, a square one, but I don't have a square one. So I just go with whatever I have already in the house. There's no need to, buy more stuff. We all have so much crap already. Just use what you have. And then you just pour this in. And you take your other sheet and you put it on top. And then you use a glass like this to set them. Does anyone have any questions while I'm finishing this up here? All right, so that's pretty straightforward.